it's really something super fantastic here. You couldn't ever imagine this. Roger, we know about that. Could you go the
Uh, Good evening, everyone. I welcome you to the world's biggest digital space conference this year, organized by SDNx and Helium Learning Labs. My name is Sakshi, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Space Development Nexus and your host for today. This year's theme, the role of space education and research in emerging nations, was adopted to put a spotlight on the space activities in emerging nations and empower them further. We expect that through this summit, the students and young space professionals can get guidance with their education and career. SDNx Foundation was established in the year 2013 with the purpose of making space accessible to everyone through its initiatives and educational projects supported by space research and development. Helium Learning Labs, who are our organizing partner, are an edtech company that aims to establish a world-class digital space school to fill the gap between the space education and the space industry, to train students for the future space workforce. Now, introducing our speaker for today, Mr. Abraham is the HR co-coordinator and the HR recruitment lead at the Space Generation Advisory Council, SGSC. He was recently the national point of contact of Nigeria of SGSC. He also serves as the director co-founder of the MPG Aerospace Limited, an Earth intelligence startup that designs and manufactures custom-made fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles for surveillance, reconnaissance, and Earth observation purposes. He is an alumnus of the International Space University and also a graduate of Obafemi Awolowo University, where he studied mechanical engineering. He was the event manager for the African Space Generation Workshop held in Nigeria 2017 and also recipient of the Space Generation Leadership Award 2018, which were presented at the Space Generation Congress 2018, Bremen, Germany. Abraham is very much dedicated to building the next generation of space industry in Africa and also building capacity in the young ones. He's very much an enthusiastic being in the industry and great mind to communicate with. He loves the art and act of communication and he is building a life of doing business and investing. He's very much open to collaborations and partnerships for constructive projects. When he's not doing all of these, he loves writing and cooking. Welcome, Mr. Abraham, to the Global Space Summit 2021. The stage is all yours. Please share your insights with our audience.
Thank you so much, Shashi. I really appreciate that. And then I will just be presenting my screen right away. I really appreciate the opportunity of being right here with you. And, it's really a privilege to be right here with you. Let me just share my screen. Give me a second. So really a great privilege to be here. I'm really grateful for that. And I would like to say it's a great work the Space Development Nexus has done so far. I've seen a lot of work that has been put out there. And also, I will give this recognition to the Helium Learning Labs, which is really doing a great work. I really appreciate the mindset and the act of even doing this. Then, with that being said, I'll go right into it. So today I've been charged with providing some insight into the role of space education and research in developing nations, and most especially focusing on Nigeria, which has been charged to. And one thing I've decided to do in this case is not to really talk about a lot of research that has been done, because a lot has been done. A lot of activities have been done, a lot of business has been done. I've decided to just, show in pictures some of the activities that have been done so far, and possibly an inspiration to the next decade and the nearest future of what can be done, the possibilities of things that can be done in the nearest future. I'll start by saying my name is Abraham Tobiloba Akinwale. I'm definitely a Nigerian, and I'm serving as the HR coordinator and the recruitment lead for the Space Generation Advisory Council at the moment. I also have the privilege of being a co-founder with the MPG Aerospace, an Earth intelligence company that is recently established. We're working really hard to make sure we are able to, develop UAVs for Earth observation for surveillance purposes, and we are definitely also open to, support in this regard. I'm a recent alumni of the International Space University, and also I studied mechanical engineering at the Obafemi Awolowo University. And before I go further in this presentation, I would really love to give some special recognitions to, some organizations that have been part of me, that have really helped me in my journey, that have really, been part of my success. I'll start with the Space Generation Advisory Council, which is a non-profit, a non-government organization, which has a permanent seat at the UN COPOS, the United Nations Committee on Peaceful Uses of Outer Space. An organization that, if you're between 18 and 35, gives you a very great privilege to give your voice out there, connect with people of different ethnic groups, different cultures, different countries, do projects with people from all around the world, and you even have the opportunity of getting your voice heard up to the level of the United Nations, so which is a very, very great organization. This organization has helped me thus far, and my journey is definitely not complete without them. So I really give a special recognition to this organization. It's free to join. You can always join for free. Just go ahead and check spacegeneration.org. Also, I would like to give a special recognition to the International Space University. If you are not new in the space industry, you definitely have heard of the ISU. But if you are new, the Space University, the International Space University, is a very renowned university in this community. They have a space studies program every summer. I believe one is currently going on, and the master's program too. The International Space University is a university that provides, a very great environment for intercultural, interethnical relationship in the space community. Well, training engross, very, very thorough training, and you get to see a new life and in the space industry. You connect, you learn, you build your career too. There's opportunity for everyone everywhere, whether you're an Indian or any part of the world, to be part of the space studies program. It's 3 months during the summer. If you can, I know there are grants to be able to attend. Please go ahead and put forward your applications. There are endless possibilities. So please go ahead and check it out. Also, I would mention the Space Foundation, which is like a close friend of mine. If we are talking about education, the Space Foundation is a very much rooted organization in this regard, doing a lot in outreach, doing a lot in educating the public about space activities, space research, and people that are doing well in the space industry, promoting people too, which is one part of education. I really appreciate their work so far. And then I would not end this part without mentioning my alma mater. The Obafemi Awolowo University is still the greatest university in Nigeria. Some might question that, but that's the fact. I was able to study mechanical engineering at this university, and it's the best. I must really say that the experience is unique. The life, the journey is really great. And in that light, I'll be going to my next slide, talking about Nigeria. So in this regard, I have decided not to really bore us with a lot of details. Nigeria is a very beautiful country, a big landmass in Nigeria, as it is called, the Giant of Africa. It's in the western part of the continent, the southwestern part of the continent, borderline with Chad, with Cameroon, Benin, and Niger Republic. Our currency is in naira, and with recent polls in 2019, we are meant to be over 201 million in terms of population, still growing, still doing well, I believe, people making babies. In terms of the school structure, the academic structure of the country, we are talking about education, so I decided to bring this out. There are 43 federal universities in the country, 52 state universities, 79 private universities, and a whole lot of polytechnics and college of educations. In terms of enrollment, at least we are having more than 2 million people, students enrolling into these tertiary institutions every single year. And Nigeria is producing over 600,000 people, graduates every year. So that's quite a large number of it. Why these statistics is to give an idea into the population of people, the activity, how people are entering the market, what is the engagement, and also we're trying to bring people to learn more about space, because there's a lot of all other sectors people are exposed to. But one thing we really are trying to let people know is that no matter your culture, no matter your discipline, no matter your ethnic group, no matter what you learn or what you've been trained about, there's a room for you in space. Even if you learned language, or you learn art, or you learn cooking, whatever you learn, there's a room for you in space. The space industry is an entire industry, a robust industry on its own that is accommodating, very accommodating. And if you're ready to give it a go, you surely find your space in the industry. Before I go to my next slide, there are so many ways I could have gone with this presentation, present data, present research, present a lot of things, but I've decided to try and gain insight to what has been done in the past, what is being done, and then at least to give room for people to see what can be done in the future. So I'll go to my next slide. This one is giving a picture view of a particular state and city in Nigeria. This is Lagos, Nigeria. This is the business hub of the country. And you can see there's a beautiful part of the country. There's also the ghetto part, the poverty part, as you might call it, or the middle class part. It's to give insight to the fact that there are affluent people and the other side of the community, and the haves and the have-nots, and then there's a room for us to promote education, even in the most basic form of it, to promote education, and not just to talk of space education. Even in the most developed country, if you talk about China or the US, not everybody is educated, even in terms of space education. So not everybody is educated. You can ask people on the street or even in classrooms. Even professors don't even know about the space industry. So there's just a need to even promote more. This picture takes a lot, because we see a very good part. We see some people that are even going about their business life, don't even care about what space does, or what space does for them, or what is even the idea of space. And that is why we need to even do more in terms of educating the general public, and even our students in the classroom. I'll go and then I'll start this from my own university, my university where I graduated from. This is the Obafemi University, a landscape of it. I love this because the university has a center for distance learning. It's a hub for educational research in the country. And also it houses is the base for the African Regional Center for Space Science and Technology Education in English. That's a center commissioned by the United Nations for space outreach, I believe. And also this center is also, one of the centers for the National Space Agency of the country. the Center for Space Science and Technology Education, which which is charged to. I will talk about that later, but they are charged to work with students in developing space outreach programs around the country. The Obafemi University is also very unique, just like we have a host of other universities in developing IT, programmers, even the arts, the techs, startups. We have a whole lot of universities doing that now. We have the UNILAG, University of Lagos, University of Ibadan, University of Nigeria, Nsukka. We have Bowen University, Covenant University, a whole lot of universities, building the tech part of their learning experience. So, and then engaging in hackathons and a whole lot of things like that. So this university is also a base for activities in the space industry, and also like a home for one of the space clubs in the country, which I'll also be mentioning in some of the next slides. Just to talk a bit about myself, I've been privileged. I know I have, because it's not been a smooth journey, but it's been a very privileged journey, a successful journey so far, I would say. And just like I highlighted earlier, my journey is not complete without the Space Generation Advisory Council. Being part of the Space Generation Advisory Council has given me the voice to submit papers, promote myself, work hard, and then be recognized. These are some of the events that have happened in the recent past. Also being part of the International Space University. Right here, I'm the only Black person. We also have some Indians, but the thing is this, the effort we put in by our young ones, the possibility of pushing forward by anybody, you can do it. That's just one thing I can say from my own journey, is that the possibilities are endless. You just gotta keep driving, and no matter where you are from, no matter what corner of the world you are from, whether from India, from any part of Asia or Africa, wherever you are from, the possibilities are endless. We just gotta keep pushing. I can say that from myself in this brief journey so far, that it's been really worth it. It's been really worth it. And unlike so many other industries, banking industry, a lot of other industries, the space industry is a community, is a loving community, an embracing community. And if you are losing yourself, I really feel like the Space Generation Advisory Council is a place for you to be, because you get to connect with like minds, get to do research and projects. You have endless possibilities. So there are so many things to just attach yourself to that can really promote your career. I'll go from myself. Let's talk a bit about Nigeria. So one thing about Nigeria, like many other countries, is that in terms of the space industry, it's majorly been run by the government. Just like we have NASA for US, we have JAXA for Japan, the European Space Agency for Europe, you have the ISRO for India. It's dominated by government, organizing, government, restructuring, government, overseeing. That is the way it is. And the government of Nigeria, in terms of the National Space Research and Development Agency, that is the agency in charge of space in the country, they have done well in the recent year or the recent decades to establish centers that address specific purposes that are charged towards doing unique things, so that they are more focused and more effective in their activities. We have some. I have decided not to talk too much about this centers in terms of the work they've done, because I'm not representative of each or any of them. But I can definitely highlight them and discuss some of the things and point out in directions as to what happens in them. So the Center for Atmospheric Research, which I'm very much close to, is a center that has been charged to oversee Earth observation activities in the country. The center has been led by a very good elderly person that I mentor, Professor Rabiu, who is the chief executive of the center. So the center provides 24-hour support in terms of research data support. They provide collaborations for students. They provide, an environment for people to be promoted, for research to be done, and they are really doing well in terms of promoting observation activities, promoting data for students around the country. Either you are a university students or a polytechnic students, they are really doing well to help in terms of Earth observation. Anything Earth observation, they are really doing well, and they are. I am aware of the fact that they are doing everything possible to, promote their sensors, their ground stations, and also the other supports they have to making sure that they have the best and the most updated data, the Earth observation data for research. And they are always very much open to connections, to collaborations around the world. So if you are any organization, any company, looking forward to collaborate with them. One thing I can say for all of these centers is that they are open to collaborations. They are giving room for students too. So for students that might be out there that might want to do industrial practice, IT, or things like that, you can definitely connect with any of this center. The second one is the Center for Space Science and Technology Education. In terms of this structure that we're talking about, they are the one that has been charged for overseeing outreach, overseeing education, overseeing how events are being organized around the country, supporting events and things like that. This center has been overseen by Dr. Agbaje, I believe, doing a great work so far. They've been connecting with a lot of organizations in the recent time, and also helping students, especially the Space Club students, to build their clubs, their association in the university. It's a Spencer for Space Technology and Propulsion, I believe, the Center for Geodesy and Geodynamics, Center for Basic Space Science, which focus on sensors and equipment for satellite applications and for data applications too. And then we have the Center for Satellite Technology. So now, just talking about all this is to give an insight. The fact that there are different centers that address different purpose in the country, so you know where to go to, just in case you have a particular training that applies to either of these centers, feel free to reach out to them. I'm sure they will respond to you. And if anything, I'm also here to provide my possible best support if necessary. And these centers are also open to students, coming on board to either learn from them or be part of them or engage in activities they have. And also, I'm sure they are also, open for collaborations with international community too. Just to make mention of the African Regional Center for Space Science and Technology, like I mentioned earlier, they are charged with working with space clubs in Nigerian universities. Right now, we don't have a lot of space clubs in Nigerian universities, but they are charged with doing this. They also have postgraduate programs for space activities, space education. They facilitate international collaborations, which I believe they are doing with the GMS program, helping with climate action, Earth observation, promoting sensors and data. And they are definitely organizing training workshops, just like we have their support for this one, also for the support of the Center for Atmospheric Research for this one we have down on the screen, the lower screen, where we were able to even have one of the astronauts on this program, I believe, Jeff Hoffman, who was able to be part of the program. So, there have been this training activities which the center has always majorly been doing, which I'm aware of in the past decade. So that is one information about that center. To talk about the Space Club activities, so this part of the slide is majorly to address, what students have done in the country, because the future of space is the youth, right? And then so far we only have three universities in the country that have Space Club. They are the ones that are developing projects, working on projects, trying to build the next generation of space leaders out there. We have a space club at the Special University of Technology in Akure, space club at the Obafemi Awolowo University, which I was also a president for 3 years, I believe, and the University of Nigerian Space Club. These clubs are very much open to collaboration, I believe, either from other students, other universities, private companies, even agencies, and they are very much working on projects. They've been working on projects so far, CANSAT projects, hackathons, water rocket launchings, and so many other things like that, even doing just outreach programs. So they are definitely very much, even the balloon, I believe a balloon project was also done recently. So they are very much open to collaborations, which can be easily done. I believe in this next decade, we should be, or the next 2 or 3 decades, we should be, having satellites being built in this clubs. That is the hope, that is the dream, and definitely we are open to collaboration in this regard. I'll be talking about some of the things that have been done by this Space Clubs events. The first picture on the left corner, I believe, is a joke catching event that was done some years back. This was one of the days where people gathered, like I believe around 10 a.m. in the morning, finishing the event around 4 p.m., tired but sweating, but you could see the excitement, the happiness on people's face, the joy on people's face, doing something that excites them, which is something I really, really love. We've also had the privilege of developing CANSAT, working with the third law of motion, that is a water rocket system. This was a propellant, a water propelled rocket that was done, a project that was done by the students of Space Club of Obafemi Awolowo University in some recent time. We've had different workshops. We've had different, outreach program. I believe this was one of the programs in recent years to promote, diversity in space in the university. So these are some of the projects that have been done in this recent time. Recently, we've decided, to bridge the gap of the expenses in not being able to afford building an entire satellite for Earth observation purpose, to using drone technology for these purposes. So, which has also been recent projects that have been going on and really, really making waves. Putting Earth observation sensors on drone system to measure, Earth observation data like the ozone, temperature, humidity, the LPG, like the butane gases, the ethane gases, the methane gases, smoke, and other Earth observation data at different atmospheric layer of the atmosphere. So this is a project that I believe is really making waves. It's really still working on. There are sensors now that have been developed for really helping in surveillance and so many other applications. So, these are some of the projects that has been done and really still growing in the country. For events that have been done by people in the recent times, we've had SpaceHub events being done. We've had the opportunity of also hosting the first African Regional Space Generation Workshop, which I believe has given a whole lot of hosts to successive events being held in Mauritius and in Ghana recently, and then the next one is coming up in South Africa, I believe, very soon. So please look forward to attending one. I recently we had an Indian at the one held in Mauritius, a friend of mine too. So feel free. It doesn't matter where you're from. You can always be part of these events. And this event in particular has given more voice, to capacity building, to people, organizations, the government being taking part in helping to build, to promote capacity building, science and technology amidst the youth. So this also I would like to mention is the African Leadership Conference, Youth Forum, because over the years we've had uh, the directors and the overseers of the space agencies in Africa come together under the umbrella of the African Leadership Conference. And then right now, recently, we are having the youth engagement, which I really, really appreciate, and it's also getting better by the day, to deliberate in declarations that are being made to the African Union to higher levels, to be able to have their voice being heard, have their voice out there, and being part of these deliberations. This was the one that was held in 2018. There have been successive ones, and I believe the next one is also coming up in South Africa, so we can surely look ahead to this. So one thing that we can really point out from all this event is that we are having youth engagement cut across the continent and cut across Africa, and it's really developing because the activities of the past decade is really helping to develop more people, creating more interest in the space industry. I can really confidently say that there's more engagement now in Nigeria, in Africa, in the last 5 years compared to what we had in the last 10 years. So which is really a success of some of these things that have happened in the recent times. There have been opportunities for people to even do research, write papers, present papers. I believe there are opportunities at the International Astronautical Congress, the Congress that is being held by the International Astronautical Foundation every year, to present papers. Whether you're a student or you're a young professional, you can always go ahead and do this. And under the umbrella of the Space Generation Advisory Council, you can get to collaborate, to write papers, to work on projects, and do a lot of things. And for like universities or sectors that don't have the Space Club, is a unique thing that helps in capacity building amidst students, which I believe majority of the Indian universities should do. The African Regional Center, like I said earlier, they have the structure already that can be adopted by any country. So you can definitely go ahead and start your space club and start helping the students, because when students come together, they deliberate. The young minds have so many things to work on, to develop when they are able to come together. Collaboration is key, and whatever success we are going to have in the nearest future, I believe India is trying to connect with the Nigerian Space Agency. Whatever success we're going to have, collaboration is key. We're going to be able to work hand in hand. So this is something we definitely have to promote. There are opportunities in events. These events are free, especially these days with the pandemic. You can attend events online. We've had events online. We definitely are going to be having more events online, locally, regionally, and globally too. So please look out there for events. I would especially point out a paper that was recently published, that talks about the commercial space industry in Africa, mentioning some countries in particular, Nigeria included. I was part of this paper submission, so I know it's a robust paper to read, to get to learn about some of the structural outlook of the Nigerian community as a whole. I would really encourage people to be part of the space community. Try as much as possible. Majority of these things don't cost much. Yes, at the end of the day, when you want to move and travel, you take expenses, but you would have been able to build your network and build your career in being part of these free things that are available. I want to finish this by pointing out some of the works that have been done by some startups that we have in Nigeria. This is one of the startups that came out of Space Club. Like I said, it came out of one of the space clubs in the university. This is a startup that is trying to build, balloon satellites, use intelligence softwares to address, surveillance. Because one major threat, one major problem that we have in the country is security. which is why we are having a lot of offsets of people trying to address this with satellite applications. And then you can definitely connect with these people. They are doing a lot of great things out there right now, trying to make use of the balloon technology to address security problems. So they are really doing well. We should be looking forward to the success of this company in the nearest future. And then their system right now can actually fly up to 90 days. That is the structure of it, which is a very really good thing, which can be also adopted by other countries, I believe. We have another company which we are working on too, trying to use drone technology for surveillance, for border patrol, for asset management and things like that. We are doing this right now. We are developing this, and we definitely will be promoting the success of it in the very nearest future. One other unique platform that is really coming up recently is the SpaceHub Africa, which was started by Kwaku, a Ghanaian, which part of us has also connecting with, and they are doing a lot of great things in promoting, the good works, providing access to what are the possibilities of careers in the space industry, and promoting webinars. There's a lot of webinars out there right now that people can be part of that are trying to, give access, give more information as to what is going on, what are the possibilities, what are the connections that people can link up with. And then the present MPOC that I handed over to Nelly, she's also part of this. She's a Nigerian. She was also a finalist at the Moot Court competition at the International Nautical Congress in 2019 in Washington, D.C., a colleague of mine. So I really appreciate the work that has been done so far. And some of these people that have already presented even at the Helium Learning Labs, like Edridge, Tensei, we have the regional coordinator for Africa too, Rania. So these are developing works that have been done. And the beauty of it is that we are having collaborations, which is the future of any development that we can have in this sector, in this continent, and even globally. We also have the last one on my list here, which is the LearnSpace Foundation, also trying to promote space education in the cradle and the secondary school level, high school level for some countries, as it might be called. So that is a wrap up from my end. The major thing I've tried to do today is to talk about, like the fact that people have been engaging in activities. We can definitely go on another day and discuss more details into the research that has been done, into more project that has been done so far, but at least for people to see that there have been activities that have been done, and definitely there are activities that have been prepared for the future. I am very much available to be contacted through my social media platforms, but definitely you can always send me an email. I will always reply you as soon as possible. I would like to thank you once again for this privilege. I hope I've not overused my time. Thank you for listening. At this point, I'll be stepping aside. Thank you, Sashi. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Abraham. What a wonderful presentation. Thank you for the insights on Nigerian space activities. I'm sure a lot of people, will be there for, the collaboration with the organizations that you have mentioned. They have been doing a great job. So moving on to the interview session, my first question to you is like, what are the challenges that Nigeria faces in attempt to raise awareness of the benefits of investing in space research? As in, if there is a link between the government and either at the Space Research Organization, are there any challenges that you face in terms of raising awareness in that, and something that you want to, a solution that can be done for the specific challenge?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So in terms of the structure of the country right now, excuse me, the government are doing really well, I must say, but there's always a downside to what is going on, especially in developing countries. And the activities of space have majorly been dominated by students, by university students. We have benefited a bit from funds that have been available from private sponsors and sometimes some of these agencies, but definitely fund is one huge part of support that can be aired. Not just funds, even support in terms of sometimes some students just need access to some platforms, access to some materials, access to some type of products. So, which is something that can be actually, leveraged upon if we have that kind of support. We can definitely walk through space clubs in the universities, like I mentioned. We can walk through the research platforms that have been established by universities. Like I know Convenant University, for instance, in Lagos is doing a lot to build their research center. Unilag, also like Obafemi University. So some of these universities are trying their possible best to build their research centers, and through their students organizations which are trying to promote now the Space Club, we can actually reach out to support. And definitely the national point of contact of SGSC also oversees activity space events in Nigeria. So it's a vocal point to go through to help moderate things in terms of research and support in the country too. So I can't say the country is not doing well, but we can always do better.
No, definitely. I think even India is a developing nation, although we are better in in terms of because we have ISRO is supporting a lot of startups as well as now private industries developing in the 2 years. But there's definitely a chance of development, and we can definitely do better as developing nations, with more collaborations as well. So just as we talked about space education, is there a particular space education policy or an education policy that has mentioned space in it in Nigeria, or are there any future plans that there can be somewhat some things like that happening?
So thank you so much for
Mm.
that. In terms of space policy, I believe we still have a long work to do, especially in a lot of policies. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
work to be done. Space policy in Nigeria, there's still work to be done because there are important discussions that needs to be addressed. If we are going to look into the future, we have to look into how it's going to help the young ones, students and young professionals coming out of university. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of people coming out of universities right now. Right now, we don't really have a concrete policy to follow in terms of space education, and then this is the way we are going to do it. This is how it's going to be done. This is the structure. This is the support. This is the grant you have on grants to follow. This is we don't have that right now, so we can only do that better. We can only engage in those discussions, sit down, have a sit down round table, whatever, and try and see what is the possibility for the future. So, and which is like I mentioned in some of the slides, at least right now we are seeing engagements. We are seeing the possibility of the youth getting more involved in this discussion. So hopefully in the nearest future we can start having some more concrete structure in place that can then help to develop these success stories in these next few decades.
Sure. And what kind of space startups you're most excited about in your country right now, or upcoming space startups that are coming? Because as we know that privatization of space, it sort of helps the space ecosystem to develop in any country. So are there any startups that you're excited about? And yeah.
Yeah, so right now I'm really glad about, if you don't know, we have security problems. So I'm really glad that,
Mm-hmm.
this is creating a lot of offset for us, because now we are having startups trying to address the security problems. So now we are trying to look for how to make intelligence better, how to make, surveillance better, how to be able to use space to at least support the government and in the agenda to quench security challenges. So these are like the startups that are really offsetting right now. People developing softwares and trying to work with satellites and drones to address these issues. It's really something I really am getting much in love with these days, seeing that. And I really look forward to how the youth can then develop more. How how the government can then refocus more in supporting, because right now the policy in place are not really supporting the startups in the country. The people have to have a lot of money to take care of these things. There are not enough funds available to take care of these things. So I will look forward to the landscape changing a bit in favor of these young ones trying to do their possible best to provide solutions. I look forward to the government helping in supporting in their pursuit of this.
Definitely. And how do you think collaborations, between spacefaring nations or, more developed nations in terms of, space ecosystem like the United States or, any European nation, and collaboration with, a developing nation like Nigeria or any other African, country will benefit Nigeria in their activities? Like, is there
So
something that has happened before?
yeah, thank you so much. Right now, there's a lot of collaborations going on.
Mm.
Like I said before, I believe there's no progress without collaboration. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's no progress for any African country without collaboration. Right now, in the state we are, we have to be factual with ourselves and be real with ourselves. Uh, the space agencies and some of these agencies in Nigeria, they are definitely collaborating with agencies outside the country. We have collaboration with European Space Agency, the GMS program. We have collaboration with China. So there are these collaborations. I believe India is also trying now to collaborate with the government to see how they can also help support and then develop solutions for the nearest future. So there are already collaborations in place right now that I believe are already doing a lot of projects. There's a lot of projects right now going on underground that we might be seeing the success of them in very, very soon. But I believe we can always do more. There's always a room for more because we have to have more youth engagement in these collaborations. We have to have a robust plan that embrace the next generation in this collaboration. So I believe there can always be more and things can be done better.
Hmm. Definitely. And, as we know, this Sunday we are having, the Virgin Galactic, launch, and this will be a big step for space tourism. And there's a lot of change going on, in the space industry itself. There's, as everyone is using the term space is for everyone. And you mentioned in your presentation as well, right, that you do not have to be exactly an engineer or, scientist to be in the space industry. Right. So how do you think the space industry will look in the upcoming 10 years, in the upcoming decade, and what you would like to see happening? Yeah.
Okay, so this is something that really fascinates me a lot because I feel like it's going to be an entirely different world. Very soon we could be having Grammy Award in space. We'll be having fashion shows in space. Like we're about to have like the Euro semifinals and finals. We could be having that in a space match in space, a final match going to space. We could be having like a grand party. There are so many things that can, other than the education part. There are so many sectors of the economy that can really benefit from space exploration. We could have a Grand Prix track race, a tennis match, so many things that can go into space, like that can come out as an offset of space tourism, an entire business on its own that we can even really talk about for a whole day. So, like people singing, artists showing so many things. And that is one thing that, like I mentioned before, every sector has its base. Every sector has application in space. No matter what you do, no matter what even if you're selling tomatoes on the street, someone is, yes, even if you're selling tomatoes on the street, when someone is going to pay you with cash or withdraw money on the bank, when they withdraw money from the ATM, they are using satellites. They are using, space application. They're going to withdraw money. They're going to come to you. They're going to pay to you. You're going to deposit your money in the bank. All those things have offset application in the space industry. So the space industry right now is the backup of the economy. You're boarding trains, you're traveling using GPS. Everything is like rooted in the space industry. So there's nothing you do that does not have its own impact in space. And that is why I feel like by the time space tourism is at its peak or is really growing, the entire thing can be done. In fact, we could be having an election in space. Like, it's true. I mean, you could be like, okay, the next G7 summit is going to space, and then we're gonna discuss, like things, and we could be having sorting out war in space, because when we go, we are out of the Earth atmosphere. We deliberate our issues. We look at Earth down there. Do we want to destroy that blue ball down there, or we want to make it safe? So a lot of it's endless possibilities for the future. I believe endless possibilities.
No,
We just have
definitely.
to protect this blue ball that we have called Earth. So it's really endless possibility for the youth out there.
Mhm. I definitely agree. I think this is a really good time to be alive, as
Yeah.
well. Just being in this and working in the space industry, as in all, like the development that is being done in just like 6 months this year. It has changed the whole perception of how we see space as well. So now, what
Yeah.
kind of suggestions or career advice you want to give to students or young professionals out there who are in the space industry, who are watching this webinar today, and we also had a question from audience, from students, and how can they get involved in the projects or clubs that you mentioned, if they have to, and if they are located in some another country rather than Africa.
So I would appreciate that we connect with the Space Generation Advisory Council, so we
Mhm.
can go to spacegeneration.org and then be
Mhm.
part of the activities of the space. It's free. It's free to join. Spacegeneration.org.
Mhm.
www.spacegeneration.org.
Mhm.
And then to answer your question as to what my advice is, for me, I'm here today, but it's not like I jumped here. It's a journey. And one thing I will really tell anybody is, I'm not trying to psych anybody up. One thing I will tell anybody is just hold on to your dreams, hold on to your vision. There's endless possibilities. Just gotta hold on. See, no matter what you want to achieve, especially in this space industry, it's a small community. And I can say that this is the most loving community that you could ever have, the most loving industry. It's more loving than any other industry right now, the most loving industry that you can ever have. Just hold on and know that you are not alone. No matter what you feel you are passing through, whether you feel you don't have enough money or you feel you don't have enough capacity right now, you are not alone. There's someone out there to help you. There's someone out there to support you. So, and then never be afraid of asking. Never be afraid of asking. Never be too scared of asking. Because if we don't voice out, if we don't really face our challenges and face our fears, we don't move from this present state that we are. And by the time we start doing things and start facing our fears and start at least putting an extra effort into achieving our dreams, there's endless possibilities. There's endless possibilities. So you're not alone. Please just reach out there. You're not alone. Please, I really, really would love to see more people join, the Space Generation Advisory Council, because now I'm seeing a lot of Indians. I'm on the HR, so I see a lot of applications. I'm seeing a lot of Indians, but I would love for us to join. There are so many project groups you can be part of: space medicine and life sciences, commercial space. You can be part of small satellite. You can be part of space law. There's just a lot of things that you can be part of that can even kickstart your career. So it's endless possibilities, endless. So just give your dream a go. At least give yourself a try. Like if nobody will give you a try, give yourself a try. So endless possibilities. I really wish for a lot of success stories to out there to hear in the nearest future. And really, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abraham, for joining us today. A very insightful session indeed, and I highly respect your opinions about, that you're open to help, anyone who wants help in the space industry. And also, I think what students need to understand is that, to never give up on their dreams as well, and just sort of continuing working, on their dreams. Please go ahead and connect with Mr. Abraham, and on LinkedIn or, any social platform, and also join the Space Generation Advisory Council. Thank you, Mr. Abraham, for joining us today. It was
Thank you
great to
so
have
much
you.
for having
Thank
me.
you.
It was really great talking with you. I really appreciate the time. Thank you so
Thank,
much.
thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Abraham.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah.